Hey good people, welcome to the channel. I'm Musically Malnourished and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. I know this video isn't for everybody, but maybe it's for somebody out there. Ever since beginning this channel, doing album reactions, song reactions, and then over on Patreon, diving deeper with music videos, live performances, but my favorite videos have been the ones that take you behind and inside the creative process, especially like watching videos of John Bellion building songs and tracks. And then as I've been getting more into rap and hip hop reactions, getting a look inside making of certain beats and musical decisions. And so as I've been going through that, I was like, man, I really want to try some of that myself. So, I had picked up a basic MIDI keyboard. I think this thing was maybe $100, maybe a little bit more than that, and got Logic Pro and watched a tutorial video. I do not know the ins and outs. I do not know every knob and every button, but I learned enough to begin just playing and having fun. And I wanted a place to be able to share some of those things. Whether they're ultimately good or not, they're good enough, to be at a place that I'm like, man, I kind of want to share this and see how it does, see what people think about it. Because that's the enjoyment, right? Part of the enjoyment is in making something. The next step of that joy is in sharing it with others. So from time to time, I'm going to pop on here and do that. And I actually want to take you inside the building of the track that I'm sharing with you. That'll be at the end of the video. If you don't want to listen to me talk and you don't care about the breakdown, feel free. You can find the timestamp in the description to when I stop talking and just play the song. But I'm just here, one take, going to show you inside Logic how I built this track, maybe talk a little bit about some of the decisions that I made on it. And yeah, so let's go take a look. Okay, so here inside Logic, I really approached this track because what I found was that a lot of the stuff that I was making just always lent toward a bit darker, heavier, which is fine. I kind of just sit down and start plugging away. And there are times I've sat down with like, oh, I want to make something, and then get way into my head and end up walking away without making anything. But with this, I specifically wanted to do something different than I've done before. I wanted to try to get something that sounded brighter, and I think I accomplished that, but ended up actually landing on something fairly melancholy. And so the first step in doing this, because what I found is, I learned to play the drums many, many years ago. I don't have a drum set. I haven't played in probably 15 16 years. I would not consider myself a good drummer, a great drummer. I can keep a beat and it would be fine. But I knew that I kind of settled into these patterns that I would play a lot. And so I found the same thing in creating music. I settle into kind of these same boom, boom, ka, boom, ba, boom, ka, ba, ba, boom. And you can take that and do a bunch of different things with it. But I specifically looked up a video and found a short. I looked up interesting drum patterns. And I found a guy who was actually doing interesting drum fills. And so what I did is I took the fill that he was talking about, which was like a kick, the snare with the low tom twice. Anyways, I just took what he said and I plugged it in here. I'll actually try to show you that layer first without necessarily adding anything else onto it. So this was, I think, the first go that I had at it. Here, we'll just pull this section. Super basic, right? And then I took that and added in a little bit more. And I actually think the drum fill ended up being what I turned into not the drums. Yeah, here's it right here. I guess I could solo the tracks instead of muting them all. So just a fill. And played around with all those things here. Let me unmute all this. We'll just solo out the tracks instead. And so, one of the things that I learned from one of the rap albums I was listening to recently is the producer was talking about layering a kick drum with a like a hi-hat. And so I experimented around with that a little bit and ultimately came up with this. That's where you heard this. You hear that little, I ended up using more like a tambourine type thing, but on top of the drum. So you can kind of hear it layered on top there. So, a lot of times what I'll end up doing as well is I'll take some of these things like this drum track here and I'll literally just drag it onto another layer. So you can, you know, click and duplicate it. And then I'll just go change the instrument. And that's in what I ended up with. It doesn't come until later in the track, which this started as a bass. Actually, it still is a bass. And so all I did was I kind of manipulated it a little bit. But you can kind of hear it. It's just falling on the same pattern. And then, like I said, I wanted to brighten everything up. And I also wanted to create something. I love using like natural sounds. And so I pulled in this ocean, like a beach. And I ended up keeping this in the background throughout the entire track. I think all I did was I threw a little bit of reverb on it. Yeah, you can see that. Well, my face is blocking it. There's a little reverb on there. But then, like I said, I wanted to get things a bit brighter. And so I started messing with some piano. Just a few simple chords. And you can hear the layers there, right? We have, if you take this one and solo it out, it's just me hitting the same chord. But just on the tail end of it. Okay, so I won't go through every single layer, but you'll hear, like I can at least play for you a couple of the different sounds that are going on here. And I think honestly I built that one the same way off of this bass line. And that would be another one, like I was saying, where I had this one thing and I was like, oh, I like how that sounds, duplicated the layer, and then started playing with different sounds, different instruments. And when they layered on top of each other, they sounded really good. And then sometimes I might go in and pull out a little note here, a little note there, but they're honestly just about the same. You know, if we really get granular here and look at it, see how they're stacked? They're literally the same notes. It's very subtle. So we had, you know, the brighter piano, and then I had my kind of drums going in here. Honestly, don't even remember what this line is. Let's listen to it. Oh, I felt like it needed something a little punchier, you know, but I didn't want to go with as much of a natural snare. And then I ended up actually layering, I think, even a... Felt like it needed even a little more punch, so I pulled in these snaps. Put a little reverb on it. So at that point, I'm feeling pretty good about how everything's coming together. Here's the piano with all of that. And then I think with this one, I felt like it needed even a little more. This is a very distant sound, but it brings more of that brightness in that I wanted. Obviously created a very longing type of sound, especially when you bring the ocean and everything in with it. Which if you want a really like, you know what, this video is going to be for who it's for. So let me just show you really what I went through for this one. So one thing that I didn't really like about this is it was ringing out. You can hear it ring a little bit, and it got to a place where I liked it. Listen. So after the first note, you'll hear it kind of rise and keep resonating. You hear how it gets kind of sharp there. Well, I actually had these played lower. I think I was down to the other C. But however it was kind of just a little too strong, the resonating. And then one thing I did as well is, here, let me move my face for a second, is you can mess with the velocity and the strength. If I'm correct, see how it resonates even a little, like that's too much. And so I pulled the velocity down, which essentially just means how like hard it's hitting. Meaning, you know, like if you're going to press keys softly or you're going to boom, it's that velocity that it's sending it through. So I pulled the velocity down and it got to a place that was like a nice resonance. It's right on the verge. And then you actually don't even hear the bass till later. I chose to use it in very specific areas. And that's the thing, is I kind of build these loops out. I mean, all of this started as pretty much like a 4-note loop. And then I start duplicating pieces. And then once I duplicate pieces, you know, and I kind of get vocals in here, which I'll talk about vocals in a second. That's when I go in, once you kind of have a structure of the song, you'll see there are areas I have stuff added, stuff removed, because then you're trying to create some dynamic. You want some moments more, or like bigger, punchier, extra stuff added, building. And so you choose where to add and strip away and create some of those dynamics. And so that's why a lot of that doesn't come in until later. And one of the final things I'll show you was actually these strings. So I'll turn all of this on, and you'll hear the difference. So I got the bass going, but then for a very specific part, I wanted a little more. So these strings. And here's another thing you'll notice. It's the same stack. It's the same stack that I have on both of these. I just duplicated it, added the strings, and it follows that same. And again, a lot of this stuff's just experimentation. It's playing, and sometimes you get lost in it and you just scrap what you're doing, you know, but it's part of the process and learning the different sounds that are available to you. Okay, so here's the big thing. Vocals. I am not a vocalist. I have tried to rap on some tracks, and I think I can rap okay. But I honestly just struggle a lot with getting the vocals to sound the way I want. I'm not talking about like from me to the mic. I'm talking about once it hits the mic and it's inside the software. I've watched videos and I've tried, and it's probably partly on me and my performance as well. But I struggle to EQ vocals to help them sit in the track or achieve the sound that I want. So one thing that I've been doing is, because I edit videos and things, for my business, I have subscriptions to like Envato Marketplace or Artlist.io. This is not sponsored, by the way. Wouldn't mind if it was. Artlist, hit me up. But one thing that you can do in Artlist, and I think I actually could probably show you guys. Let's see. Yeah, so if we're inside Artlist and you just said, whatever, rap. What I do is I find the BPM, which you can see is just up here, the BPM for your track. So I find the BPM and I just come in here. So it's at 90, which means that if I find people who have created songs at 90 BPM, I can find vocals that might fit into what I am doing. Now, obviously, this is all still just experimental. And for me, it's like proof of concept. If I can take vocals that are already good, that have already been kind of mixed and mastered, and I can lay them in my track and like it sounds good, to me, what that says is somebody else, one day maybe I get the opportunity to create something, or somebody wants a beat or wants to work with me. It's something I'd love to do one day. This for me is more of a proof of concept than anything else. It's not necessarily anything that I'm going to, really put out or publish to Spotify or anything like that. But it does show me like I can create music that with the right person, it can turn into a full song. And so I just, in Artlist, I'll go through and try to find something that kind of matches the, let me turn this down, it's gonna be really loud. That just matches the energy of what I'm doing, which obviously that doesn't. But in many of these, you can click on the song, not all of them, but a lot of them. And inside, there are stems, which are obviously just the soloed out areas. And so you can literally take just the vocals. And that's the old me, the way I'm sitting nowadays, money stack 9 ways of sipping on a. So that's what I've been doing. I don't remember when I thought about that or it came to me, but I was like, hey, I think I can actually like flesh these things out more and really hear what I kind of have in my head. And so I float around and I find stuff. And so that's what I've done here. There are 2 different vocals, and these are full songs, but for this one, let me unsolo all this. For this one, I first was kind of experimenting with a female vocal. And I found this section. On my way. And they actually had background vocals too, so I kind of lined those up. On my way, I won't let fear hold me back, it's here to stay. And so I ended up taking that and I found this rap, like a separate one that was kind of the vibe of what I was going for. I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to slow my roll. And it's this real chill rap. I've been cut short for a long time. All the while I was plotting around the confines. So, you just kind of get in and cut it up to find where it needs to fit in to actually be on beat. And so I'll let you hear a little bit of how that all came together. I was really happy when it all kind of layered in. So here's how the build-in, once you put it all together. Give some space up front. I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to slow my roll. I've been cut short for a long time. All the while I was plotting. And then you can hear also how I change things up when I bring in these strings. Isn't it a long ride? I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to break. And then the female vocals is kind of the break in here. On my way, I won't let fear
hold me back was here to stay. I'm
I don't wanna hold that weight no more.
way. All of my dreams
All these stop signs trying to slow my
step
roll.
away.
And there are actually sections where I ended up taking the backing vocals here and putting them over some other sections. And this will be the last thing I show you, and then I'll play the song in its entirety.
Hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to break my soul.
So just trying to create some dynamics in there. But anyways, that's a little diary. I mean, maybe at some point I can get to where I can actually film some of the process of going through all of this, or maybe do a live stream and just see how it goes. It could go really, really bad, but let me know if you're interested in more of this, if it's helpful to you. But I don't know, I guess part of it for me is I would love, I guess call it a dream if you want. I would love to be able to create some music for others. And that's part of what we're doing with the Cypher Challenge on the channel, you know, is the ability to continue creating and having an outlet for that. So let me know in the comments your thoughts around this, but I'm going to go ahead and play the song, put a little visualizer together just so you know you don't have to stare at my face the entire time. But thanks for hanging out with me. I hope to see you in the next one. It's reading good.
I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to slow my roll. I've been cut short for a long time. All the while I was plotting around the confines. Way before I even knew how to talk right. Warm hearted, had the bars on frostbite. Early mornings make way for the long nights. Hard days get you ready for a long life. God willing, I'll be here for some good years. I know I caught a couple L's, but in hindsight, I wouldn't take nothing back, this in my life. Mushrooms and pale ales at sunrise. Light spliff and hem rock at sundown. Sometimes big things come in fun size. Appreciate the little signs for they come and go. You never know the bullshit you finna undergo. I'm trying to live like Hov, sipping my ties. The road to the dead president's a long ride. I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to break my soul. I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to slow my roll.
On my way, I won't let fear hold me back, 'cause here to stay.
I don't wanna hold that weight no more.
All of my dreams,
All these stop signs trying to slow my
step
roll.
away.
I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Couple salty heads hating that I wish say son. Homie riding through the city, I came on shuffle. This girl like, yeah, I know some greasy motherfuckers, but they kicks ain't scuffed. And they'll do they people dirty when the shit gets rough. Damn, swear to God, I'm not a god, I'm just a man. There's potholes along the route, we adjust the plan. See, I don't know what you about, I don't give no fucks. I'ma lift you up, till you keep it up. I'ma hold you down, till your feet is up. No stress around, ain't no need to fuss. You need something to eat, I'ma get you a plate. It ain't nothing to me, I already ate. The sun beaming on me. I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to break my soul. I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to slow my roll. I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to break my soul. I don't wanna hold that weight no more. All these stop signs trying to slow my roll. Sometimes I look around, try removing myself from my reality. Start thinking about my place in the world, what I can do. not just for myself, but for everyone and everything else around me. You ever just stop and think sometimes about how you could apply yourself to the world? You should try it.